Hey, I just played Stellar Blade for the first time and I really just want to rank all the bosses in the game. I had so much fun making the Liza P boss ranking and I will probably have fun making this ranking too. I do think Stellar Blade has better bosses on average than Liza P. However, a lot of Stellar Blade's bosses feel very samey, which I will be getting into. Like with the Liza P video, I will be placing these bosses in tiers ranging from awful, very bad, bad, okay, good, great, amazing, and peak. Thankfully, the bottom tiers are mostly absent in this video. One more thing I want to mention, I will largely be ignoring any refights, with some exceptions. I have fought every boss, but not every refight, so it would be a little bit unfair for a boss that has a worse refight to drop in the rankings. Anyways, let's begin. In this game, the Naytibas, which are the enemies, are separated into different categories based on their strength. These categories, from least to most strong, go Minion, Warrior, Elite, and Alpha. And Elder, I guess, if you want to count that. Corruptor, a boss that is essentially just a reskinned enemy, is in the Elite category of Naytibas, alongside Ludwig Manus, Thor Naytiba, Resident Blade, and Chainsaw Man. The Star Wars battle droids feel more like an Elite than Corruptor. What is the point of this guy even existing? He is the embodiment of nothing at all. There's an optional refight with him that is a duo fight with Corruptor and the warrior he was based on. This really puts into perspective how uninspired and boring this guy's moveset is. Without prior knowledge, I would have never guessed that one of them is a warrior while the other is an elite. I don't hate his attacks, they aren't annoying, they work, but they don't make me feel anything at all. The music is good at least, but that isn't saying much because every track in Stellar Blade is good. I was considering placing Corruptor in the OK tier, but he is so bland, so boring, so nothing, that I think the bad tier better represents him. I literally have nothing to say about Maelstrom. I like how they included a Resident Evil style boss in this game. That is fun, but he dies so quickly that it doesn't even matter. At least he feels like an elite. That's more than I can say about Corruptor. He isn't fun, he isn't annoying, he just exists. Sure. Stalker is also a boss that exists, but I have slightly more to say about him. I really do only mean slightly more because there isn't a whole lot going on here. Now that I think about it, I really don't have anything to say. A lot of the Elite Naytibas kind of blend together in my brain. They aren't bad, aside from one of them, but they don't do much to stick out from the pack. Stalker especially doesn't really do anything at all. His head has a similar design to a boss you already fought, his moves aren't anything special. I guess I like when he drills his head into the ground to create projectiles, I don't know. Stalker's kinda just there. The time between this and the previous boss in the main story is extremely long, so when I finally got up to this guy, I wasn't mad, but I wasn't very happy either. Behemoth. I give up. Behemoth. Sure is a boss. I feel like I had so much more to say about the OK bosses in my Liza P video, because those bosses were put in that tier mainly because of mechanical issues. There's nothing wrong with Behemoth, but there also isn't much at all. I like that he exists as an optional encounter. It's always nice when devs throw in unique bosses that are completely missable. Makes it even more exciting discovering one of them. But there's also lesser Behemoth scattered across the map that you can find that already give you the Behemoth experience. He doesn't really evolve from the lesser variants, he kinda just feels like a bigger version of them. I guess that's probably the point, but I would have liked it if they made him feel a little bit more distinct. Music goes hard, shocker, and the design goes hard, shocker. But again, there's nothing here that screams, I'm a big bad boss, I will kill you, rah rah, I'm gonna step on you. It's a big ol' nothing burger, as the younglings would say. Brute is a boss present in Stellar Blade. He has music, an arena, and a moveset. I just don't know what more I can say. Most of the Elite Naytibas all just feel the same. I like how this one has explosions after some attacks. I have no idea if the tutorial version of this boss has these mechanics, but I also don't care because I'm ignoring the existence of that version. But another Elite and even an Alpha have similar mechanics, so it isn't even unique to them. Like, what do you even want me to say anymore? I have nothing. So I will leave it to ChatGPT to help me lengthen this segment a little bit. The Brute returns in the Wasteland as a more aggressive aggressive opponent with a broader and deadlier moveset. Without Tachy by your side, it focuses entirely on you. He is still fairly slow, giving you windows to parry or dodge, but the patterns demand sharper timing. Some strategies to defeat this foe including staying behind or to the side of him, capitalizing on beta skills, using perfect parries, and avoiding the yellow overcharge attacks. Thank you, ChatGPT. Gigas is the third elite Naytiba that you encounter in the game, and he is quite a good one. Wait, he isn't an elite? He is an alpha? It is kinda hilarious comparing him to the 3 other alphas because of how overly simplistic he is. Yes, 3, Demogorgon doesn't count. Gigas is not an alpha. He doesn't have the spectacle, the story significance, or the moveset of the others. You find him, fight him, and kill him again in the wasteland if you choose to follow that one side quest. If he was simply put in the elite category of Naytibas, I would probably like him way more as the simplistic moveset wouldn't bother me as much. But that doesn't mean I don't have a semi-good time fighting him. He almost fights like a gorilla, using his fists for a large majority of his attacks. He doesn't really do much else, which will be fine for an elite, but as an alpha, a few more unique attacks would have gone a long way. Thankfully, he does have some unique attacks with his wheel head. Oh wait, no he doesn't. What is the point of having this big dumb wheel as a head if you aren't going to use it at all? This is such a missed opportunity, as even having one attack with his head could have made this fight way more memorable and exciting. It's okay because the refight expands upon this moveset and uses his wheel. Oh wait, it doesn't either. It's just weird to me that one of the big bad alphas has a refight that lessens the already subpar significance of the first encounter, but also has a slightly enhanced, more challenging and more fun moveset. So I have no idea if including this refight was a good or bad idea. Also, is this meant to be the same Gigas we fought previously? He has the same head wound, but it looked like we turbo killed that one. Oh well, a solid fight that is brought down by his status as an alpha and the missed potential of his moveset. The amount of aura gigachad energy radiating off this guy could bend metal from the other side of a soccer field. Just by being in this guy's presence, my arm grew bigger and 50 girls all appeared in my Guna basement. My dick elongated to a massive 2 inches, and my testosterone levels grew so large it could kill an elephant. I promise I'm not gay, I just really appreciate this man's physical condition. Presentation is only one aspect of a boss though, and unfortunately for Juggernaut, his moveset is just okay. It is another one of the elite blend of bosses. There is nothing unique or memorable about his moveset. It is fine, it is functional, but I don't remember it at all. It is mainly just a variety of different swings with his cool ass weapon. Phase 2 incorporates lots of fire AoEs, but Brute pretty much has the same mechanics, so who cares. I am happy to say that from now until the end of the video, I will have a lot more to say about the bosses, as Juggernaut wraps up the mishmash of the samey elites. This game has so many amazing bosses that I can't wait to talk about, but first, we have to get through a handful of bosses that don't quite reach that tier for me. Tachy is a boss that is meant to have an emotional impact on you, as she was a commander in the airborne squad and meant a lot to Eve, but she dies in the first 5 minutes of the game, so the only emotion I got fighting her was disappointment at the crazy potential she had. Tachy isn't a late game boss, but she also isn't an early game boss, so I was expecting an appropriate challenge. Oh wait, look at that, she's dead again. Tachy is the most cheesable boss in the game. All you have to do is attack her and she will barely attack back. You have to legitimately stop and let her attack if you want to experience her moveset. You could say this is her trying to hold back, as the last remaining fragments of thought in her remember you as her friend, but shut up. They just made her overly easy. Usually difficulty doesn't affect the boss's quality that much. For example, Lady Maria from Bloodborne is one of my favorite bosses of all time with one of the most engaging movesets of all time. Yet, she is definitely one of the easier bosses in the DLC and the game as a whole. Unfortunately for Tachy, her stupidly passive and easy playstyle brings down a boss that had potential to be a great or even amazing tier boss. Buried under her stinky cheese, there is a great moveset. She is fast, has interesting moves to parry, and I especially love this move where she jumps in the air, throws a few projectiles, then lunges at you. I also love how Phase 2 has a completely different arena. Sure, it isn't as good as the first arena, but not many boss fights in general have a full arena change, so it is nice to have here. And of course, her music goes so hard. It is just so impressive how many banger themes are in Stellar Blade. So yeah, while I'm sure I have Tachy a lot lower than a lot of other people, I can appreciate her. Just wish she was balanced a lot better. While Karakuri doesn't do much to stand out from the other elites before her mechanically, I have her up here in the great tier due to how memorable she is visually. Even ignoring the boss herself, I love the corrupt Japanese look of the arena. It's a completely unique atmosphere until Scarlet came out, and you really do love to see it. Karakuri herself also looks very unique, being an amalgamation of Karakuri robots, Kokeshi robots, and the Naytibas. She looks very neat, definitely one of my favorite elite designs in the game, and while I did say her moveset doesn't stand out too much, she does have some very cool attacks. The move where she summons a bunch of babies is a cool way to force you to play a little differently, or you could just use beta skills and wipe them all out instantly, that works too. And I especially love this laser move she can do in phase 2. It's not that crazy hard to dodge, but it's fun and looks extremely cool. Looking at her moveset alone, she probably would have been in the good tier, but combined with how awesome her and the arena look, I think it is fair to have Karakuri just barely make it to the great tier. Abaddon is the first boss you will encounter in the game, and I have him ranked higher than literally every boss before Spire 4. Wow. Usually the first boss in a game is toned down a bit both visually and mechanically to ease the player into the game. Not my goat Abaddon though. Yes, he is quite easy, but he still has an extremely diverse moveset with projectiles, quick distance closing attacks, jumping attacks, and more. The actual moveset isn't what's easy, it's the damage the moves do and the health the boss has. I'm glad they went this way. Nobody likes a drawn out boss with one attack. It is also a good precursor to the crazy attacks that you will have to learn later on in the game. Abaddon genuinely has a better, more engaging moveset than every boss up until Tachy. They did not half-ass him. So we've established that mechanically, Abaddon is awesome, but presentation wise, he is even better. The stormy weather combined with his awesome looking lightning attacks create an unmatchable atmosphere that I would have more expected a final boss to have over a first boss. Oh, would you look at that? One of the final bosses does indeed take place in a storm. Insert music glaze here. What a banger. While I can't place Abaddon higher due to him still being extremely easy and not that engaging due to his low health and damage, I still love him and was so excited to see what other great bosses the game would throw at me. Too bad every boss is worse than him up until Spire 4. Now, I do want to start a little mini ranking that I will probably forget about. This ranking being of all the first bosses I have fought. Since I've only completed 2 rankings so far, this won't take me very long. Abaddon is very clearly better than the Parade Master. Sorry, Liza Poopers. Anyways, on to Chainsaw Man. I would be lying if I were to say that I have as much to comment on for Belial than I did for Abaddon. Belial is a cleaner fight with amazing build up, cool looking attacks, great music, and a very solid moveset. It is kind of another one of the mishmash movesets that doesn't really stick out too much when compared to the other elites, but it is made up for by his 3 entire health bars and sick design. The single fact of him wielding a chainsaw sword is enough to boost him this high. Or chainswords, that sounds a bit better. If I'm gonna be honest, I really don't have much else to say about Belial. I do really love him. I mean, I have him placed at number 8 in the entire game, but a lot of what I love is hard to really elaborate on. Like, his moveset is really just slick with some cool blood attacks thrown in. I can't really expand upon that, you know. Oh well, this does officially mark the end of the great tier, so we are moving into the amazing tier, where I will have a ton more to talk about for each boss. The difference of quality between all bosses so far and the final 7 is pretty massive, so prepare to hear a lot of glazing. Providence is one of the 2 final bosses in the game, and she is definitely the lesser of them, but she is still in the amazing tier, so it doesn't really matter. Providence itches the monkey armored core side of my brain. I can't compare her to anything else because there is nothing else like her in the game. She is one of a kind, and that's awesome. It seems as though she has a ton of health, but the game is lying to your face. The fight really ends when you get her down to about a 1/3 health. You turn invincible after that and get a free W. Even if the 2-minute timer runs out, you just get reset back at the start of the phase. It will never happen though, because even 30 seconds is enough time to get the job done. There are a couple big issues with Providence that keep her from a higher position. I love her moveset. It's a big mech of exploding punches, missiles, lasers. How can you not like it? But it is very easy to abuse her AI. Phase 1 is fine. She can do this get off me move if you are constantly stun locking her. But if you always stick close to her in phase 2, she will almost never be able to do her sick ranged attacks. I mean, look at this. This is so cool, and if you play optimally, you'll never get to see it. That sucks. Providence is also one of the 3 bosses in the game with an insta-kill move. Insta-kill moves are moves that, if not countered with your drone gun, will, you guessed it, instantly kill you. Providence is by far the best one, as she is constantly moving around, making it way more challenging and fun to break her shield barriers. The other big issue she has is she doesn't really feel like a final boss. I don't really get this is the end vibes like I do with the other final boss. So in the end, I really love Providence, but a few issues do bring her down just a little bit. After I watched Tachy get slaughtered by this horrible, this horrible, disgusting demon thing, I knew we were going to eventually get our revenge. And many hours later, we finally got to fight her, and oh boy, was the wait worth it. Unidentified Naytiba is the first boss I encountered in the game that truly 100% challenged me. Pretty much every boss before her was beaten within 5 tries, so I was extremely happy to finally be fighting a boss that forced me to lock the fuck in. Remember when every boss ever could be stun locked into oblivion? Well, Fairy Raven says no to this by having an ability where she can turn invulnerable and escape damage. Is it kinda annoying when you want to punish an attack but she dips out before you can get any reasonable damage in? Maybe, but I think the positive of her being way more mobile easily makes up for it. She is just always moving, always going in and out of your attack range. It's fast, it's exhilarating, it's fun, but she isn't perfect. What is even the point of these geysers? They are pathetically easy to dodge, they don't do much damage, delete it. This move as well is pretty questionable. Yippee, I have to run away, woohoo! I really am nitpicking to justify why I don't have her any higher. Unidentified Naytiba is also the first boss to have an insta-kill move. It's okay here. She doesn't move around like Providence does, but she can throw out some cool looking projectiles. It's barely a threat though, so it kinda gets boring after seeing it multiple times. I would say Providence has the best one, a boss later on has the worst one, and Unidentified Naytiba gets to have the middle spot. While I clearly do love this boss, she does have enough issues where I don't see her to be on the same level as the GOATs that are the top 5. Democrawler is by far the best elite Naytiba, if you even want to call him that. He is listed as an elite, but is presented as an alpha, being the closing boss of the massive area that is Spire 4. The real alpha, being Demogorgon, is pretty much an interactive cutscene, so in my eyes, Democrawler is the true alpha of Spire 4. This guy feels like a fusion of the best parts of Simon Manus and Ludwig. He has the spectacle, godlike feel of Simon Manus, while also having the moonlight greatsword and disgustingly sick design of Ludwig. The music as well, like, what do I even say? The presentation is off the charts. Democrawler easily joins the heavyweights like, funny enough, Simon Manus and Ludwig as one of the best presented bosses I've ever fought. Luckily, the devs did not slacken his moveset as well. He has 3 phases, with each phase getting more and more complex. Phase 1 is very simple, pretty much only consisting of a variety of hand swipes. He can send out these projectiles that, if parried, sends him back doing damage. I liked it when fighting Lexazia, I like it here too. Phase 2 brings in the Moonlight Greatsword and his melees become harder to parry. His halo grows and he likes to throw out more ranged attacks. I also want to note how fun this jump attack is. He can throw it out whenever he likes, and in the final phase, it sends out 2 shockwaves instead of 1. It's not hard to dodge, all you have to do is jump, but it keeps you on your toes and it's simply extremely satisfying. In phase 3, his halo grows to its biggest size. Some of his moves change a bit and he gains some new ones. This isn't exclusive to phase 3, but I like how he can teleport. Without it, I feel he would be way too stationary. This boss is such a treat to experience and is an amazing start to the boss rush that goes until the end of the game. I'm glazing the ever-living shit out of this guy, and we still have 4 bosses left. The devs really knocked it out of the park with the bosses present in the boss rush. Pretending the fight against Adam doesn't exist, I can't believe how awesome Elder Naytiba is. If I had to pick a boss that has the best visual design in the entire game, it would be him. Combined with the Endless Sea and the Storm in phase 2, this fight is stuck in my head and cannot get out. I love it so much, it truly feels like the perfect end to the game. His moveset is brilliant as well. He is fast, his combos are long, but they are manageable and super fun to learn. It never feels unfair, as the hand he is about to attack attack with glows, making it way easier to time the parry. Great work from the devs. This one teleportation combo he does is so fun to parry, it feeds my soul. At certain health thresholds, Mr. Naytiba pulls out one of the few insta-kill moves in the game, and this is my only notable issue with the fight. I don't mind the idea of this type of move. Providence did it very well, but Sir Naytiba's version is so painfully easy that it becomes a negative threat. The ease of this move reduces it to a painkiller, which I don't like. Back to positives though, phase 2 is just so fun. He combines so many yellow, red, blue and purple attacks to create such a sick flowing fight. Seeing this majestic angel zip and teleport around the arena, doing everything he can to make sure you don't survive is delightful. The music in phase 2 as well makes it really feel like the end of your journey. It is so cinematic and powerful, it is slowly becoming one of my favorites in the game. He is not the hardest boss, but he's still not a pushover. You have to earn the right to view the ending of the game, and Elder Naytiba more than deserves to be one of the final barriers. Scarlet is so good, so gorgeous, so fun, but there is one big problem with her. Why is she locked behind a 15 AUD DLC? This DLC barely is half an hour's worth of content, yet I had to spend $15 to play it. Ignoring that, Scarlet makes almost every other boss in the game feel like a pushover. All her moves are so attention demanding, yet feels so good to parry. Everything just works here. Her moves feel so perfectly crafted to be hard but not annoying. The look of her purple sword as well looks stunning alongside the hundreds of white flowers. Yep, this game also has its badass humanoid and a white flower field type boss, and Scarlet easily stands alongside all of them. The white flowers don't last long though, because in phase 2 it switches to a beautiful bright red that looks so sick. She can also start teleporting here, which is a cheat code to making a boss more fun. I like how during her teleporting moves, she can mix up the amount of attacks she can perform per teleport. Sometimes her first flurry will be 3 hits, sometimes it will be 2, sometimes it will be 1. Very nice work. Other than that though, phase 2 doesn't really change too much. I think some of her combos get extended a little bit, and she might get 1 or 2 more mix-ups, I don't know. I wish they went a little bit harder, but I still love it. I honestly really don't have too much more to say about her. Scarlet is an absolute banger of a fight that stands toe to toe with some of the best of FromSoft's bosses. It still just pisses me off that she's locked behind an overpriced Gooner DLC. Keeping the topic of gooning relevant, we have Raven. There were 2 things that were rock hard when I was fighting her, me and her moveset. Raven is the hardest boss in the game by such a landslide that it isn't even fair. She is the Mulaney of the game, except she isn't optional. It took me multiple hours to finally finish, and it felt so good. No aspect of Raven felt unfair or cheap. Her difficulty came entirely from a fair moveset, which is insanely impressive. Sure, she isn't that cinematic, flashy, or as cool as a lot of other bosses in the game, but that isn't the point of her. Her fight is meant to be an all-out, to-the-death brawl before you are able to enter the nest. It doesn't need to be cinematic or flashy to get your blood pumping. I mean, she was the one that killed Tachy and attacked Zion in a onesie after all. Raven turns the dial up to 11 when it comes to aggressiveness. She is constantly in your face, which is a good thing for Redditors and a good thing for boss enjoyers. She isn't the queen of combo mix-ups, but I don't mind as so many of her combos are very long and attention demanding already. She even has a literal upgrade of one of your burst skills. Phase 2 is when she starts going bonkers though. Spam teleports, turning your parries into a quick time event, even essentially disabling some of your moves. Raven is not messing around. On top of her aggressive, stressful moveset, the music and sound design complement it very well. The music screams panic, danger, like your time is running out, and a lot of her attacks have this loud warning sound effect to evoke fear. This is without a doubt the best song in a game stacked with masterpiece after masterpiece. Before I played Stellar Blade, Raven was the boss that I by far heard the most praise for, and I'm very happy to say that she absolutely delivered in almost every way. I mean, the arena kinda looks boring, but whatever. I can confidently say that Raven is the best boss in the main story of Stellar Blade. But there is one more boss that is hiding in the boss refight mode once you beat the game. Man, who could that be? Mann is the second of the 2 post-launch bosses added to the game, and man, did they cook. Mann is the most diverse set of moves in the entire game. He has a gun, bombs, smoke bombs, sword, fire sword, battle axe mixed with a spear. He has everything. But it wouldn't matter what he has if his moves aren't fun to learn. Thankfully, he also has the most fun moveset in the entire game. He can quickly lunge at you, he can unleash his inner soul of Cinder, he can mix up some of his combos. It's just really solid all around. I also really like how his moveset promotes creativity. You don't need to just dodge and parry. You can jump, double jump, or air dodge, and it will most likely work. Obligatory music glaze as well. This track goes so hard. I just love Mann so much. As soon as I fought him, I knew he would be my favorite boss in the game. So why don't I have him in peak tier? It clearly sounds like a boss that would fit right into the peak tier. Well, if we are looking at moveset alone, yes, I think he deserves to be in peak tier. But if I'm comparing him to my Liza P peak tier, Arlecchino, it clearly shows why I can't put him that high. Arlecchino has the story significance, the spectacle, the insane cutscenes, the build up, the finality, alongside having the best moveset in Liza P. Mann was kinda just added to the boss refight mode as a fun post-game challenge. There's no build up, you just select him and fight him. His cutscenes are cool, but not on the level of Arlecchino. The Soul of Cinder sword is cool, but aside from that, he didn't really make me audibly yell at my screen like Arlecchino did. His music is better than Arlecchino, I can say that with confidence. So, while I don't think he deserves to be in the peak tier, Mann is the highest amazing tier boss you can possibly be. And that is every Stellar Blade boss ranked worst to best. While I have been overall very positive this ranking, I don't think Stellar Blade is very clearly better than Liza P. The areas are mostly kinda whatever, with the exception of Spire 4. I also find it very weird how the game turns into a straight up boss rush in the end. All the bosses in the boss rush are excellent, but come on. Democrawler, Unidentified Naytiba, Raven, and either Providence or Elder Naytiba all happen back to back. There is essentially nothing in between them aside from walking. You can even put Mann in the group as he is unlocked in the boss refight mode as soon as you get any ending. And all the meaningful story moments happen here, so like 90% of the game is chilling with your homies and the other 10% is the real story. It's just kinda weird that they decided to go this way. I thought I was at the halfway point when I got up to Democrawler, but nope, Tachy is closer to the halfway mark. Despite the weird pacing, I would probably still give the game a 7.5 out of 10 because of its great bosses, good story, and incredible music and presentation. Thank you Stellar Blade for providing me a happy ending, or bad ending if Lily ends up dying. Who cares anyway, bye!